It's that time of year again. No, guys, I'm not talking about Ramadan and Eid and all of that lovely time of the year. I'm talking about the international break. International African football returns, although it's just friendlies, but you know, it's better than nothing. It's AFCON warm-ups, essentially. That's how I'm viewing these friendlies now. Of course, the qualifiers are done. The draw is on the way very soon. Check out my preview for the AFCON draw if you haven't, to see who's going to be in that. So we've got countries playing a couple of friendlies essentially for the, I think it's for the upcoming AFCON. Teams are preparing themselves for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations, obviously the ones that have qualified, that is. So let's look ahead to some of the games that we've got to look forward to. This list isn't necessarily all of the games. This is just a few selected key fixtures, I think, looking at what's coming up. So Egypt are playing Zambia. That's a good game. That's two teams at the tournament, and people are saying Zambia could be dark horses. Daka is the guy that will carry them, and people are saying Daka will go to Brentford from Leicester when Tony eventually does leave there. That'll be a really interesting front three if they had Daka and Mbeumo and Wissa, three Africans, three different African nations, all at the Africa Cup of Nations. So that'll be a good game to see just how good Zambia are against good side. And then Algeria against Cape Verde as well, taking place in Algeria. Cape Verde, of course, got further than Algeria at the last AFCON, so I think we should be showing them some respect. I do dislike the fact that those fixtures are on the day of the draw. So Egypt could draw Zambia, Algeria could draw Cape Verde, and then they'll go and play each other. It just seems a bit odd for me. I don't know about you guys, it just doesn't sit right with me. So kicks off with that, and then you've got games like Mali against Uganda. Mali have got to be putting Uganda away. They're again seen as a bit of a dark horse favourite, and Uganda didn't qualify. Tunisia doing a bit of a tour of the Far East. They're going to be playing South Korea. How will Heung-min Son do against Tunisia? Will they be keeping him quiet? New Zealand playing DR Congo. Oh, some interesting choices of opponents. It's interesting. You've got DR Congo and Tunisia here choosing to play non-African opposition to test their players. Likewise with Nigeria playing Saudi Arabia. The last international break, Saudi Arabia played 2 games at Newcastle's ground. It's not actually a big of a shock as when you first hear it, considering the owners of that club. That'll be a good game. Of course, Saudi now managed by Roberto Mancini. He left Italy to manage Saudi Arabia, as you do. They lost Hervé Renard to the French women's team. And Nigeria should be beating Saudi Arabia. We've seen a lot of trouble off the field with Osimhen and Napoli. Bit odd, really, isn't it? They kind of criticise their own player. I don't know why. He's so good. He won them the league, for God's sake. I don't know what's going on there. I'd love to see him go and prove a point against Saudi Arabia. South Africa playing Eswatini. I mean, South Africa, they're going to be filling their boots. Percy Tau will be filling his boots. There's no doubt about that. Lyle Foster as well at Burnley. Got quite a good attack there, South Africa. And a bit of a local derby there. Burkina Faso against Equatorial Guinea. Burkina Faso should be coming through strong there. And Mozambique playing against Guinea-Bissau, two of the Portuguese sort of colonial sides with a lot of players based in Portuguese football. I think that'll be a draw, but Guinea-Bissau, if they want to be taken seriously at this tournament, they're going to have to win that. And then Ivory Coast are playing Morocco. That's a really good game. Of course, Ivory Coast, the current host, Morocco, the next host. And if Morocco want to be taken seriously as tournament favourites, they've got to go and win that game because they're playing a team that are hosting the bloody thing. So it'll be a good test to see just how good that Morocco team is in African football, because they've come up short in the last few AFCONs. Can they compete with the hosts that are a good side? If Morocco put away the Ivorians, there'll be a lot of people backing them to win the whole thing, I think. Ghana are going to be playing Mexico. I don't know why they should have played that game in preparation for the World Cup. Interesting selection of opponent there from Chrissy Houghton. And then the next day after that is the big one, isn't it? It's Algeria, Egypt in Abu Dhabi. That is a huge game. That'll be like a home game for Egypt, you suspect, in terms of the geography of that and the number of supporters Egypt will have in that stadium. Looking forward to that one. Nigeria again should be putting away Mozambique. That's Mozambique's second game. And Senegal, Cameroon. Can Senegal bounce back from Algeria winning in Dakar against a Cameroon side that people don't know where they are right now? Of course, they've got Anana back in goal. How are they going to do against a Senegalese side that just won the AFCON last time out in Cameroon? Be interesting to see what happens there. Tunisia also playing against Japan as part of their tour of the Far East. Interesting. Japan have got a good side. Ito, Kubo, Mitoma, Tomiyasu. That'll be good. Endo. Ivory Coast also playing against South Africa. It'll be interesting to see how that, like I said, Tau and Foster get on against the host. Morocco playing Liberia, you expect Morocco to win. That actually is an AFCON qualifier, but it's a bit pointless. It'll actually count. You'll get more FIFA ranking for that because it's an official game. It's a CAF qualifier. Of course, that got moved due to the really sad earthquake in Marrakesh that was postponed. So that's actually an AFCON qualifier, but Morocco will probably treat it as a sort of a friendly game. They should beat Liberia comfortably as well. Saudi Arabia also playing against Mali. Now, if they beat Mali, I'm not going to take Mali seriously because a lot of people are saying we should. Well, in that case, they need to put away the Saudis quite convincingly. Angola playing DR Congo. That game as well, I think, could be happening in Portugal. That'll be a good matchup. And it'd be good to see where both sides are at in that one. Again, two sort of unknown quantities. We didn't see Angola too much, particularly in recent football. And, of course, DR Congo went out the last Africa Cup of Nations either. And then Ghana playing America. So they're playing Mexico and the US. Interesting choice of opponents from Chris Hughton there, but of course if it's the proper like America, like Pulisic and all those guys, then wow, and Balogun, that'd be a good game. But I don't know where we are with Ghana. They went to the World Cup. I think they were just happy just to stop Nigeria going to it, and then just to stop Uruguay getting out of the group. I didn't really see much happiness about we're Ghana and we're doing this. It was more about stopping other people doing stuff, which is a bit odd. They're not going to get Nketiah now after England called him up, and I don't know what's happening with Hudson-Odoi. But we'll see how the Ghanaians do under Chris Hughton. We haven't seen them yet under him in the competitive competition. So these sort of friendlies we've got to look forward to. And then in November it will be World Cup qualifiers, which is competitive football. But again, I think even those qualifiers you'll be seeing nations pretty much testing themselves for the AFCON. And then January is a big one. So let me know your thoughts on these fixtures in the games in the comments down below. Not the games down below. Comments down below. And what games you will be watching. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.